Hi there, Leo. Welcome to Jive Tarot and your September 9 card spiritual insight. All right, Leo. So, how did August treat y'all? How are things going? What I'm going to do before we start reading tarot is I'm going to go ahead and look for the most powerful overall energy for your reading. I want to see what energies are guiding this reading. Okay, so with the Seven of Swords in reverse, the idea that I'm getting is it's an energy of understanding something from a different perspective, a new perspective, a different way of looking at things that make you go back and see things that you might have reacted towards in a different light, that makes you want to go back and rewrite it or think of it just a little bit different. With the Magician here also. So the Sun and the Magician, the two major arcana, it's really kind of a big thing. It might have felt like a bomb being dropped, or that thing that jolts you up in your sleep at night, you know, that big light bulb that turns on. I mean, big and bright as the sun. Oh, well, damn. I didn't need to react that way, or I can't believe I reacted that way. You know, that is obviously not what it is, not what it looks like, not what it was. All right, we're going to go into the reading now. So let's read some tarot. Let's pull some tarot for my Leo people, please. Most recent, past. It's the Four of Pentacles. It says power. Oh, okay. Current energy is sorrow. Now, this is not necessarily sorrow as this is like a self-betrayal. With the Seven of Swords here in reverse, it almost seems like a self-deception, illusion of some sort, a delusion, you know? Let's see, most possible future. Oh, it's some sort of blocked communication or inability to move. Things are headed in a new direction is the verbiage that I'm getting. Things are headed in a new direction. The person that you're dealing with, what the person that Leo is dealing with for the month of September, they're kind of defensive, which is probably where the lack of communication could be coming from. Do you understand? Now, just because I've had this personal epiphany in me doesn't necessarily mean that they need to instantly forgive me or believe me or vice versa. If the energies are exchanged and this is something that someone has done to you and is now trying to communicate with you and you're not hearing it, whatever it may be, the doorways that they could be trying to open for my Leos or lessons. Seven of Cups in reverse. All right. So with this card coming out, I'm getting the feeling of there's more than one way to skin a cat. However, it's in reverse. So like the clearer action, I think. Of all the different ways you could have moved, you chose to move that way. And I see what kind of creature you are. It exposed what kind of creature you are. And the reason why I say that is because literally, dude looks like the sea creature. Like the Secret of the Blue Lagoon, you know, right there. So, my goodness. Discernment. I'm also hearing discernment. Let's see. Let's go for your conscious and subconscious. All right. So far as your subconscious goes, there's something in there, and it could be pride. It's a fire energy with the Knight of Wands in reverse. It's a very fiery energy, but it's kind of holding back, and I'm getting that gut wrenching kind of feeling that's just stopping you from. Do you understand? I know you know the feeling. I think we've all kind of felt it. I hope that I'm not the only one. What about that? What about that conscious mind for my Leos? The Lovers in reverse. Now, this is the card of Gemini. It's also a card of not seeing eye to eye with the person that you're dealing with, or there could be some sort of miscommunication, even so much as between the head and the heart, or the head and the soul. You know, I get disbelief also. How you would have handled it in the past? How would my Leo people have handled it in the past? This is the King of Swords in reverse. It's a possibility that you might have just made a mountain out of a molehill, been derogatory or more angrily attacking, or something similar to that. But I mean, we say a lot of things when this Three of Swords comes up. We say a lot of things, and even though it's a feeling that it's something that we did that was out of character or out of place or unwarranted, doesn't mean that we're not constantly even trying to search for a way that the other person could have incited that kind of reaction from us, you know? Now I got the Ten of Pentacles, right? This is longevity. This is weathering a storm. This is withstanding. This is something that is long term and far reaching. This is something you dedicate your time towards. Now, it doesn't have to be a flash in a pan. It doesn't have to be solved or eradicated overnight, but it's something that you want to slowly work at. And I know that the trap that we might fall into for a lot of us might be that we're slowly working on explaining ourselves, or formulating an apology, or getting back into this person's good graces, or they into yours, depending on what shoe the foot is, on what foot the shoe is on, you know? But for the most part, this feels like to me that I noticed something that had happened. I noticed something that I had done, or that somebody had done. Now, the trick is to actually make this a permanent reaction. You understand? To where I don't necessarily fall prey to the first initial reaction, but I teach myself to see all of the ways that the situation could have been meant towards me, or all the things that they could have done, what it could have been showing me about that person, and then picking the best one. Don't just go with that first initial one, but really come to terms with the playing field or the players around you, and assess the situation so that we don't get stuck in this trap again, the way we have to kind of repair ourselves or regret. We don't want to do anything that we would later on regret. And for this situation, as I said, with these two major arcana, the manifestation and the new beginning, we're starting fresh. This is a new cycle. So don't beat yourself up for just learning or just coming to the conclusion of this thing, because that cycle warranted that behavior or that portion of you, right? This portion, this chapter of life warrants a new version of you. And this is the first course of action. This is the first lesson on the table. So just be grateful. Okay. Bottom of the deck, I see the Five of Swords in reverse. Now this again couples with the Seven of Swords in reverse. This is something that we had to do pride-based, or to prove a point, that we had to be right and the other people's feelings were not, they didn't take precedence over being right or being the victor or winning the argument. But now we're starting to see. I'm going to get a clarifier on this Four of Pentacles, because in the past, in the most recent past, this is something, be it the pride issue that we might have clung to so dearly. I would say it was the person, but there seems to have been some sort of separation between you and the person. You understand? And now their defenses are up. There is also this subconscious pull to not go and talk to them or open a line of communication. And in the most possible future, there is still blocked or no communication or no movement towards an outcome or a resolve with that person or that situation. That doesn't mean that I can't change every other situation or become a new version of myself that I don't have to apologize to this person for. This was just the pain that I needed to propel a life-changing event. They don't have to be aware that they're what caused it. I don't have to lower my pride or my ego or my expectation to humble myself in a nature to where they have to be right or they get to be right or I was wrong. What I do have to do is become a better version of myself. That's the only thing on the table that is imperative, because also in the conscious mind, I don't think that you see eye to eye with this person and their defenses are up. But the doorway that they were trying to open for you is seeing things just a little bit more clearly, or understanding that there's more than one way to skin a cat, and then picking the best way for the occasion or the situation or the person. Do you understand? I'm going to go ahead and get some clarifiers on this because I think I rambled on quite enough. Is it you or is it you? I think it's you. All right, Spirit. So for my Leos, I'm going to get a little bit more information on the person that they're dealing with. Can you give me the person that they're dealing with, their subconscious? The person on Leo's mind, subconscious. Ace of Swords in reverse. They took a very, very hard hit, or they feel a loss. I see the Page of Wands in reverse again. All right. Okay, so they're actually, in their subconscious, they're feeling the same way that you're feeling. This is the Knight of Wands in reverse. They're not feeling like reaching out. They're feeling very, very shy, or it's like gut-wrenching to go ahead and reach out and make some kind of communication or forward movement towards this. In fact, I think they're kind of putting it on the back burner because they have a very, very large loss here. The Page of Coins, they understand the value of the situation. Now, that could mean a plethora of things, because just because I understand the value of something that was heart-wrenching, heartbreaking, a defeat, a loss, right, doesn't mean that I appreciate the situation, nor do I want to revisit it. It's just that I've been able to learn my fair share, and I don't know what they plan on doing. What's their conscious say? I need 2 cards for their conscious mind. The person on Leo's mind. All right. Judgment. All right, so this is a bit of an ascension. Now they say it's not, it is human nature to judge, and I don't think that it's necessarily a negative quality, because without any kind of judgment, we have no discernment about what that person is saying about us or our character or what they have to teach us, right? We kind of like shut out or block out 90% of the lessons if we're not able to intuitively call it or judge it for what we see. Now, the issue here is to apply it where it's necessary. You understand? That just because it looks like and quacks like a duck doesn't mean that that duck needs to be punished for being a duck. Just that it's showing me something about myself or opening something in myself. I see the Two of Pentacles. They are prioritizing, right? There's a judgment call, there's an ascension, and they're dropping off things that no longer serve them. You understand? That they've kind of ascended in a way. And this ascension, I see the gears really, really grinding. It's something that had definitely worked for them in the past, but fails to work for them now. So they've kind of released it and let it go. So my idea here is that there's probably something about this person that you're not aware of. You have a version of them that you're not willing to let go of, and that version no longer exists. That's probably why these walls are up, why these defense mechanisms are kind of there, these boundaries are there, because they are becoming or have become a version of themselves that you no longer know, probably based on the interaction that y'all two had. Now, that does not justify your actions at this time, because justifying your actions would only thwart your progression. They've made their progression. Make your progression. It should be a coming of, I would say, a coming of age of sorts, but it's a progression is the only thing that comes to mind. It's the only word that really hits home for me. How's this person showing face? Okay. That's kind of funny. It's the Three of Coins. I see farmer. It's Three of Coins here. Working with others to produce an outcome, correct? Okay, I also see a horse's ass. So they could be coming across as quite the horse's ass, depending on if, since this card came up on the sideways, we don't know if it's flipped in the reverse or if it's flipped in the upright. So this leads me to believe that for some of you, the person could be just a little bit more compassionate and willing to work with you. Others of you, they could be being quite the horse's ass and not willing to work with you at all. Some of them could still be deciding. You understand? So with that being said, that there's some of you that will be able to make some progression forward by apologizing, but we're gonna go ahead and call a spade here. We're gonna do some, what do they call that? Oh, I don't even know. Leo. Now, you know your pride's too big to go ahead and apologize or to allow them people to know that that you mistreated them or that you're sorry or that anything else like that. You understand? But for some of those Leos that are willing to, we've got a kind of like I'd say a 15% ratio on if this connection is going to be successful or not. But for the majority of you, I would say that a reconnection or a reaching out and communication is not necessarily what needs to be done. What needs to be focused on and what needs to be done at the Five of Coins, I think that for the most part, their driving force is that Five of Coins. They've alienated themselves from this conversation. They've alienated themselves from this situation. They've alienated themselves from you. And they would like to stay that way. So whether they'd be willing to work with you or not, that's kind of neither here nor there, I believe. Let's go ahead and pull a couple of clarifiers, because I see there's something that you weren't really necessarily ready to let go of here. I'd like to know just a little bit more about it. Okay, so the devil came out, right? This is an unbinding, disconnection, reparation. Could be a Capricorn. So something that you weren't really ready to let go of or release or talk about even. It's something that you weren't ready to discuss in the past, the separation. Now, be that because of you or because of their defenses, again, neither here nor there. It could be different from all of you. But how about this Three of Swords? I just see the Seven of Swords again. Okay, so this is about not worrying or not fearing some sort of lack of commitment, or I'm not worried about what you have to say. I'm not worried about what you have to say on your soapbox. I'm not worried about what you preaching. I'm not worried about what you teaching. I'm not worried about learning the lessons that you have to show me, because you're not better than me, or you're not bigger than me, or you're not more intelligent than me, for God's sake. You know? Whatever is causing this sorrow, it's more, I guess, more or less about somebody being better than someone else. I don't have the time to listen to you. You don't know anything. You don't have anything that I want. Therefore, you can't know things that I don't know. Anyway, it's causing a lot of weight. It's causing a lot of sorrow. It's causing a lack of boundaries. Why did that want to come out? It must be a lack of guidance, or a lack of guidelines. You understand? It's like I wasn't prepared. I didn't know things would get this bad. Let's see. Let's see the High Priestess in reverse and the Chariot in reverse. Now, these are a whole bunch of major arcana coming out. Okay, so the Lovers in reverse, Gemini, I have Cancer, and I have Pisces or Virgo. Now, the thing here is, I think there's a lot being stuck, or being caught up on what is not being said. There's something that's not being said, or there was secrets being kept. And I think that it's promoting an idea that it was like that on both sides. Do you understand? With the Chariot right here and those two cats, and even with the High Priestess and the two pillars, and even with the Lovers, these are all cards of balance, or two sides making a whole side. Do you understand? So if I was withholding some information, or I knew you were withholding some information, now mind you, this is my conscious mind. If I knew I was withholding information, I am already allotting for you to withhold information, or vice versa. If I knew you were allotting to withhold information, then I got to understand that I now should hold, or I feel the feeling or the overwhelming urge to withhold information from you. Maybe it's because once upon a time there was somebody that didn't even want to hear it. You understand? I'm not worried about what you have to say. Now, this being in the current situation, though, I think it's a play off of this past situation, or this past person that's kind of coming to the forefront in your mind and consciousness that's on your mind right now. I could be wrong, but okay, now what's this Ten of Pentacles with the advice? Okay, so this is already decided that it's a long-term, long-standing situation. So the quicker I get out of my emotions and my feelings, see, this is how I would have handled it in the past. I would have continued to be angry about it, or I would have continued to be bitter or sour, or hold a grudge, or continue to think poorly of this person. Remember, it's their fault. They provoked this kind of response from me. I didn't necessarily do anything. I just responded to what they were doing. You understand? Now, the sunshine and the lighting up of the issue, that it's not what it seemed, and that I may have overreacted. You understand? I may have overreacted, And this could have been what it is. Well, I don't know that for a fact, and I can't talk to this person. So I'm going to continue to tell the story this way and not change or do anything different. You understand? I'm going to continue to see it this way because I have no proof. I can't talk to this person. I have no proof. In the most recent past, I was holding on tight to it, but the feeling and the idea was there to release it and let it go and unbind myself from the negative attributes that this thing kept packing weight and adding weight on my back that was unnecessary, you know? And I kind of put two and two together. But this new idea of what Spirit is leading me to believe is that this is a long-standing situation. This could go on for a very, very long time. It's already decided, and because that door is shut and sealed behind me, I have no way to go back and repair it. The only way I can do it is to play the ball where it lies and take it in stride in the long run. Do you understand? So I feel like that's a very good piece of advice here for the most part. Although it might be a very jagged pill to swallow there for you, Leo. I'm not feeling it, but what does send a little bit sugar down with the medicine is that you don't have to, or you're not even in a situation where it's possible to let this person know that you were wrong or that you may have perceived it wrong. It's not even important that it is actually the case. The important part is the feeling, what was laid on your heart and spirit to go ahead and change, because this next version, this next level of life is going to require a different you, right? One that's just a little bit more discerning, one that's just a little bit more understanding of diversity and diversity of cultures and people, and stop lining people all up with this must be what it is because this is what it is. Oh, well, the feeling is that if it was anything else, I would have hurt myself really, really badly, or I would have been really, really ashamed. So now from now on, every time I run into a situation like that, instead of calling it like I see it or calling it as fast as I can, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch for a little bit to make sure it's not this, or this. That way I've covered my own ass too. And I don't ever have to feel this feeling, this longing, this loss, this regret, this betrayal, this self-betrayal, right? I don't ever have to feel this again. I am freeing that area, that energy cup open for blessings. Yes. Instead of regret, longing, loss, or what ifs, or shame. I'm freeing that up for royalty and royal attributes, you know, because I'm worthy. I know I'm worthy because the people around me are worthy of that also. I just went all out on a tangent, huh? All right. Okay, so for the most part, I'm just seeing that there's no communication because there's no comfortable way to start a conversation to bring it up. So we're just going to put it on the back burner that we're never going to find a comfortable situation in order to discuss this or ever, like, I think it's safe to say that you're probably never going to see this person again, like for the most part, honestly. But that's okay because the job has completed itself. The job is done. Do you understand? Whatever you came into this person's life to show them, it transformed their thinking. It transformed their idea. It brought about an ascension and no unfinished business or no need to talk and go through it again or ever again because they've ascended. And it's also promoted in you a change in how you do things, view things, see things, and move in your daily life, and probably bring about an ascension for you also. That's the hangman, a change of perspective, and enlightenment. That's where he hung himself upside down from the tree of knowledge and to get a different perspective, to see things from a different light. Now, Leo, what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and pull 3 cards for a summary, and then we're going to close this monthly reading. Sure did enjoy hanging out with y'all, and I enjoyed y'all stopping by and seeing me. 3 cards, please. All right, there's that 2 of Swords. I see some sort of procrastination or weighing the pros and cons. There's still that what if thing, like, oh, and cutting and severing the ties altogether. Okay, so for the, and getting over loss and regret. Okay, so if this were the case, we'd be skipping over the lesson altogether, coming out with confidence and being, it could also be saying that if we look a little bit deeper, also that we could learn a little bit more. And if we get everything that is meant to get, then we can go ahead and sever this tie, right? Or see, but the advice right here with the 10 of Pentacles in the upright and the 2 of Swords in reverse is the exact opposite of the summary. The summary being that, okay, give or take. The King of Pentacles, there is an idea to go opposite of the advice, or even if you didn't take the advice, the ascension is still going to happen. It's just that we're going to come from this spilled cup, loss, regret, longing, self-loathing, my fault kind of thing, and see what is standing. See the lesson for what it is. Remember? If we just sit, kind of like roll it around. See, in this rendition, the 2 of Swords, what she's doing, she's going ahead and she's got a blindfold on, and she's just really weighing out the options, really understanding, choosing this one or choosing this one. So I think that if there's an idea that you sit long enough with this decision and call it as you really deem fit, not just the fastest answer, but the most correct answer that you have at this time, that it'll form and solidify that king, even with the Queen of Swords right here, this truth, this unbiased truth, this resounding truth, and that you can sit more confidently in it because you gave it the go-ahead. That in itself could eradicate this person's power over you. So if you felt longing, loss, and regret, or if you felt like this was going to be something you would never let yourself forget or never let yourself live down, that by doing this and getting the picture, and like just really sitting in this decision before you just made any kind of snap decision, that you would immediately free yourself from the karma, the loss, the regret, because you would have immediately changed that. Now, I don't see this immediate thing happening, but I do see that being the goal. Or instead of sitting negatively and kind of continuing to bash this person because I don't understand, or I don't know for a fact if it was my fault or if it was their fault, or if this is the way it really went down. It was just an epiphany, for God's sake. I just woke up with a dream and I thought maybe that could be it, but oh, what if? But there was no proof. That you, instead of doing that and being angry about it, understand that it was more of a long-term situation that was brought about through everything kind of coming together to come into this mountain that was made or created. It was a long time coming feeling, right? That this is a lesson that has been coming, you know? And to see things from a different perspective. And then the faster you do that, the easier it will be to release yourself from that. I hope I'm getting this right. I hope I've made sense to you, and I hope I found some clarity for you guys this month of September. So until next time, please like, comment, subscribe. Do hit the bell if you want to be informed next time I upload. Should be in about 2 weeks for your freestyle read. So until next time, Leo, thanks for stopping by at Jive Tarot.